Oh, good morning, YouTube. Still at Glen Helen, the first trail on the other side of the Cascades. Have to cross that. It's not too bad though. Too bad though. Beautiful area through here. It really is. I don't know how many fall color hikes I'm going to do this year. This might be the only one I do videos of, because I think compared to previous years, it's not as good. And I've did fall color hikes of other parks since I've had my YouTube page. So really no need to, go all out this year, especially when I know the conditions have not been the most ideal for it this year. I don't know if I've been on this particular trail, but I'm just following it for a while till I get over to John Bryan. I anticipate I'll be over by Clifton Mill probably in a couple hours. Oh, I probably have been on this particular trail. It's just, I don't get out this way very often. Yeah, I probably should, but this is it's an okay area, but there's a stream crossing right on over that way on the other side. You can't really see it from here, but where you can cross the creek via that way, a little stone crossing. Then when all roads lead to the pine forest, you're almost out of here and then into John Bryan. Have some nice ridgeline views here. Some of the trees are starting to show some color, but when the temperatures are in their 50s and 60s at night, you know, constantly like they were for most of the month, the trees need that cooler weather at night to pop their color. Like here you can see on some of the trees, like how they're trying to change color, but it's just not been a good year for it. But that's just how it unfortunately goes, you know. Some years it could be really good, and some years it could be bad. I mean, we didn't have any 90-degree days this summer. I mean, the first part of summer, we had a lot more rainfall here than what we normally would have, and then September was fairly normal. I mean, the August through September, and of course you guys know I made the 2 Cincinnati trips. I don't think there's going to be another one of those till next year. A couple guys walking their dogs down on those trails down that way. You can see how the maples are normally just not up to par. They would normally be golden yellow colors, but it's just, we haven't had a normal year for weather at all. Yeah, between the really mild winter, far much more rainy than normal, summer, then no really hot weather really up until the middle of August. The weather was kind of abnormal. It was kind of everywhere, all over the place. Somebody's dog. Yeah, there's dogs down that way with their owners hiking, which that's great. I'd love to see people out with their dogs. Now, unfortunately, you can only go as far east as John Bryan, because in Clifton Gorge they do not allow you to have dogs there, and you are not supposed to have them there, even though there's probably a few wild coyotes probably there. But speaking of coyotes, it's kind of funny. I was seeing a story out of Cincinnati, and I think it was Colerain Township. People were worried about their dogs and the coyotes in close proximity to their property. Well, I got news for you people. They're here to stay. The coyotes are not going anywhere. They're part of the ecosystem now, even though they're not native to this part of the country, but they're not going anywhere. Guess they were native to out west, and then they gradually worked their way here due to lack of predators, because when we decided to try and take wolves out of the ecosystem, there were no natural predators in many parts of North America to keep the coyotes from spreading. Guess I've chosen the more hilly way to go. That's fine with me. Good exercise. I don't know how much I'd like this if it was real rainy with all these leaves and these rocks. Because boy, them things could be slippery as hell. Yes, I'm out of breath. I'm not in the best of shape these days. Whatever road leads to the pine forest, a lot of honeysuckle here. Unfortunately, that's a massive problem all throughout this part of the country, but I've mentioned in other videos they don't get it under control like they do within the metro parks. look like a trail, but I can't safely identify it, so I'm just gonna keep going. And you're not really supposed to go off on, you're supposed to stay on marked trails. That's just good stewardship for, I guess, the environment, is to not disturb what should not be disturbed. I'll probably end this when I get to the end of this trail, wherever that may be. And I'll have lunch at the mill later on, as well as charge my phone over there. Yeah, these trails are unmarked here, so you just kind of go in and out, you know, probably. Had some more honeysuckle. It's called a myrrh honeysuckle. I think that's, but it's a very invasive species that plague North American forests because they dominate. What it does, it gets so big like it does here, where it dominates the undergrowth, makes it harder for the native plants to thrive. Yeah, I did a couple fall hikes last year. Caesars Creek, and I want to say I did Twink. I don't know. I think I did Twink. I might have done Twink Creek last year. I don't recall, but I did the fall color hike at Caesars Creek last year, like I did in 2014, which was really beautiful. Caesars Creek is sort of similar to Taylorsville as far as the terrain goes, although it mainly goes around a lake, you know, southern third of Caesars Creek State Park. They call it the perimeter trail. Okay, I'm just kind of weaving my way in and out, you know, till I get to John Bryan. Just I'll take them. I'm just talking to myself. And I will take this way. But that's it for this one.